There is something magical about a story that takes a sudden twist, where someone comes from being written off to rewriting the narrative of their life entirely. It's why we like the underdog story, or even the underrated. Well, today we are going to dissect why our stories can change, why the person you used to underestimate may become the person you admire, or what you know or what you knew in the past could become unrecognizable in the present. I'll begin with a story of a colleague I got to know about in primary school. Now, there was this friend of ours during primary that happened to be a very stubborn guy, very rowdy guy, the definition of evil at that time. He was a problem to the whole school, a problem to teachers, matrons, students themselves, and even to the system of the school. Now, this guy, at the same time, was not performing well. It happened that everything that affected him affected also his academics. And you could say he was possessed, or he had an evil embodiment on him that was pulling away his success at the time. Now, this story comes from a period of time, I think primary 1, no, not primary 1. I think about primary 5 there, going to 6 and 7. Now, this guy obviously was performing. I think every end of the term, there used to be an assembly, and I think it was called the academic. This academic assembly was to read the best and to read the worst. Now, if you are in between, you were lucky. But the guys who were the last, they would bring them out. They stand in front of the whole school. On a bad day, they would get caned. On a good day, they would be told to dance for the school. Something to humiliate them so that they don't fail. But for this guy's case, this was the story of his life. Every time he was excited for that period, whether it was going to be dancing, whether it was going to be him getting caned, there was that thing that he had. If it was canes, he was like a metal. So they even sometimes used to nickname him Metal Boy, something like that. But for those that have attended these funny schools or traditional schools, okay, they were good schools, were not very funny schools. You know what I'm talking about. This guy happened to make this his normal until one moment came. Now, we used to have a day when parents used to come to school that was called check on progress. Then we had the visitation day. Now, his parent, the mother, happened not to come on the check on progress. Then on VD, she came. Now on VD, when she came a bit early, and some students were still in the class. Personally, I was in class. Our class teacher was there with our reports, and this guy came in with his mother, and the mother was to pick the report from the class teacher. Now, obviously, the report wasn't good. The class teacher gives the mother the report and then shows it to her. The report is bad and all that, starts talking to her, what. Then she breaks into tears. Mind you, Other students are in the class. This stubborn boy is in front with the mother, and the mother is crying. Now, as the mother cried, she gave a statement. She said, "I have sacrificed everything about myself to ensure that you get a good education." She was telling the son that you get a good education, that you turn out to be a successful boy. And I know you're a clever boy. And I know you are a bright boy. Now, I also saw this stubborn guy break down. For the first time, we saw him be soft. It's like this was his trigger moment, or what I could call the changeover switch for his life. If he was on direct current, they had switched him to, is it alternating current, AC? This was his turning point. Why? Once the mother left, this guy's whole life turned around. He got his books, started reading. The guy that used to be the last, the first exam after the mother had left, I think midterm, he was in the middle there. The other exam, he had already become like the 8th. That was like our P5 there. And from primary 6 to P7 to final exams, the guy was the best in the class. He used to bat everything. Be it social studies, be it mathematics, be it science. He was good at everything. And we could no longer recognize him. The past we knew was no longer recognizable in this future, in this present. We couldn't recognize this guy at all. At all. Guy used to be cracking us up every evening, making noise, being on every list of noisemakers. That was in the past now. He was now reborn. He was a new guy. He used to wake up very early, read books. He became the inspiration that was unexpected. He became the guy that we underestimated and later became the person we admired. What do we learn from this story? That sometimes it takes one moment for your life to turn around, for your life to take the next step. You are supposed to look at yourself and ask yourself, what is happening in my life? Is that all that I was created for? Is that all that my story will be? Is that all that I was meant to fulfill in this world? Because the one thing that the mother told him is that, I know you are a bright student. I know you are clever. You are better than this. That alone could trigger his mind to know that what he was doing at that point was not the best he could have, was not the best of what would manifest from him. And the other lesson you get to know is that you need only one person to believe in you. One person to believe in you, and it will change your whole story. In school, in what, all teachers used to, I think, train how to cane using this guy. They used to train how to punish other people using this guy, because at any point they would find this guy in trouble. They would find this guy on the wrong side of the law. They would find this guy that he's dismantled. So they would always use that chance. He was the embodiment of evil and failure in the school. No one believed that he could be the best. Even me personally, I didn't believe he could be the best. But his mother believed in him, and that alone could help him change his story. In our life journey, it's common for us to think that it's our destiny. You could be there. He could have thought that maybe it's my destiny to just go through school, laugh with guys, make noise. This is who I am. He just needed one different perspective for everything to change, for everything to become new in his life. You can't stick to one version. You can't stick to one operating system. Personally, let me just give you a small story of me and something I experienced at campus. Now, when I get into campus, I was given the privilege by my parents to go to hostel. Now, with hostel comes very many temptations. I enjoyed life. I did everything I could do. I went to club. I went to what? I enjoyed everything. And 1 year passed. I didn't realize it was passing, but 1 year passed. First year. I had done nothing for myself, something to remember. Because I live with this philosophy in life that whatever situation you're put in, leave a mark so that people can remember you. And remember you for the good, not for the bad. Now, I looked at the story I was writing, the chapter I was writing of my university life. And it wasn't one that I was really very proud of. I can't say I regret it because many of my good friends came from there. But it was a point in life that didn't yield a lot of growth for me. I was not in a rehabilitation kind of thing, but I was in that stage where I was trying out everything: alcohol, weed. I didn't do any other thing, but those are the two I tried to do. And because it was campus and the freedom was there, I happened to hit rock bottom. Now, I hit rock bottom in the time when we were going to sit for our second semester of year 2, second semester examinations. Now, this was quite the toughest semester for me. I even got a retake in it. But I silenced all this experience with involving myself in politics. And politics was like me getting an adrenaline or life glory. I didn't realize that there's something I was missing in my life until one time a friend of mine called me to church, and it was on the 24th. Yes, 24th of January. I gave my life to Christ that time. I really didn't want to say all this in this episode, but I'm just telling you what one thing can do to change your story. So when I gave my life to Christ, yes, I got the retake, I got everything, but I started to understand the purpose I had in life, the things that I was supposed to do right. Yes, for those that didn't know what was going on really, I could have looked like things were arranged as I had planned out my life, but really inside me, I wasn't. Things were dismantled. Things were not okay. I changed my environment. I got a room on a higher floor where I could rarely get distracted. I could try to concentrate on my books. And this change helped me a lot. I was able to think in my own perspective. I was able to think as me. I was able to change my life for better. God willing, I was able to finish off that retake, and I was able to graduate in time. And why? Because there was a moment that triggered me to change the trajectory, to change the story I was writing, the chapter I was writing for my university life. And yeah, that's how I came here. That's when I started thinking about doing podcasts. I started doing a lot of self-development. I started growing better, being intentional about my growth, and seeing that I am going to the next level. I'm happy that I've reached where I've reached, and I'm not stepping back. I'm trying to keep moving forward, and that's why I'm connecting with very many guys. I have my friends. We started something called Insight Hub, where we discuss and share insights on self-development, God, and character. Yeah, those are actually my best friends, sort of, because I'm not someone that really pushes people close to each other. I mean, I'm not someone who brings people close to me because of those other insecurities I have that I'm working on. Then I have my other friend, Raymond. He has his own podcast, actually. I happen to have also done an interview with him on this podcast. And yeah, man, I've not looked back, and I have changed my story. Some people think I take life too seriously, but if you don't take your life too seriously, or if you don't move for your life, then the life is going to just pass you by. Things are going to just move by, and you'll never recover that time. You'll just be there, and you're 50, you have 4 kids in front of you, and you have not planned for them. Why? Because you thought life is not supposed to be taken seriously. Every part of it should be taken seriously. That is, whether you're having fun, whether you're connecting with God, whether you're what, everything should be serious at its given level. Yeah. I think that's it for this episode. It's been quite a roller coaster, but I hope you liked it. And if you reached this far of the episode, please share it to your friends. Let them see what they need to do. Let them get the realization of when they need to change the story, when they need to move forward, when they need to take notice of those trigger moments. Man, I sat in a car one time. I said I was going, but let me just throw this in. I sat in a taxi one time and sat next to someone that had not showered. The stench and everything was a trigger for me, man. I need to get my own means of transport. I'm still working on it. But man, that alone made me want to get a car or a bike or something, so that I stop with the public transport. Until next Monday, keep it at Bezos Chivozi.